What do people need to know about her?
Judi is an amazing person. She is just always this sensitive, brilliant, poetic person who did very well in school and kept skipping grades and was just infused with music and poetry and writing, who then went to Israel in her 20s, fell in love with this man who was a saxophonist and a chef, and they decided eventually to have a life on a kibbutz, which happened to be very close to Gaza. She wrote thousands of haiku, which were about her surroundings and about peace. She taught mindfulness to children whenever there were attacks. On October 7th, Judi herself put out a message to her kibbutz that she had been wounded and that her husband Gadi had been severely wounded. We speculate, we become very grim, we have hope, but is there any news, actual news? Maybe a little bit. We found out that beyond this talk she had with someone at the kibbutz who was going to bring an ambulance when they found out they were shot, and then the ambulance was rocketed or destroyed by Hamas who came in. We found out that she did another call, like a 911 call, and sounds like the wounds were maybe even more serious than she had let on initially. So that's the kind of thing we know.
And Nir Oz is a place, I think we're talking about 25% of the people who lived in Nir Oz were either killed, missing, or taken captive.
400 people lived there, and 25% of them are gone right now, taken hostage or killed. And it is incredible that in the last few days, I think we're at 37 people from Nir Oz have been returned, which is amazing, and we're really happy for our cousins that they've gotten at least some friends and community members back that they grew up with.
So as those people come back, who were held in Gaza, do they bring information with them? I mean,
yes, the children grew up on this kibbutz. It's not just their parents. They know everybody. They know all the people who were taken hostage. They know all the people who were murdered. So Iris calls them and finds out, did you see my mother? Did you see my father? And so far the answer has always been no.
We know that they're gone. We know that Gadi, more than likely, we feel fairly certain based on the information that we have that he was killed. Judi, we know that she was shot, but we don't know her condition, whether she's alive or dead. But we do have multiple reasons to believe that they are in Gaza, both of them.
Why do you say that?
Well, from early on, they were on Israel's hostage list as opposed to missing list. I know that they geolocated their phones in Gaza. My cousins have had to do a lot of detective work on their own. That's an understatement. They've been having to pour through these videos that are circulating online that Hamas themselves recorded and then live streamed or whatever, and to watch this carnage, hoping to see an image of their parents, just to know what condition they were in that moment.
So that must mean then that every day that a list comes out and they're not on it is a super rough day.
So we get calls in the middle of the night sometimes that no, Judi is not part of the next hostage release. And we've been getting that every single night, and every time it's been heartbreaking because we didn't have that much hope at the beginning. We were thinking the worst, but there's only so long you can have that darkness. So you start having glimmers of hope, and that hope is real, and you just really want it, and you want to be able to share it with your family, and you fantasize hugging Judi, and yeah.
That must mean that hope carries a bit of a burden too, right?
Yes.
Like hope is something you crave, but must be a weight to having it.
When I get into my realistic mode, I think she's not alive. It's unlikely she is. But for some reason, it's like this other side of me goes, no, you must have hope.
This not knowing is, it's particularly excruciating.
What did Nietzsche say about hope? That it's one of the cruelest things that we could ever have. It's true. It's hope. Hope can gnaw at you.
I'm just wondering what it's like for you to move through the world right now. You're still living your lives, and it's far away, and yet the anger and the fear is very present. And what's it been like for you to move through the world knowing that this is not an academic conversation for you, this is family?
Yeah, it's just been hard to certainly like relate to other people right now. And I will say, I think that it has felt like a very isolating time, because as you said, this is not just like an academic conversation, this is very real. And people around the world are very angry. And
We're angry too, though.
Yeah, we have been angry as well.
Does it make you feel vulnerable? More vulnerable in this moment?
Certainly has felt very hurtful to see the hate mongering that is happening here, so far away from the situation. And the fact that this conversation has, on social media, which is a questionable place sometimes, has spilled over into all of this hate mongering.
Please don't say something that's potentially hurtful to us or our families, because we understand the problem. We hate Netanyahu. We don't endorse what's going on. No one in the family does, and we don't want to suffer like this.
So now what for you two? How do you navigate the next few days?
It's just more waiting. Can the Red Cross get in there to see the hostages that are remaining and to give them medical attention and bring back proof of life if it exists? Because I know we're certainly not the only ones who just don't know whether the person that we love who is missing is even alive or amongst these hostages. And just really, really hoping that a ceasefire continues, that all the hostages come back, that this cycle of violence can end.
And I kind of hope the leaderships change as well along the way, because I think a lot of people have a lot to answer for. This shouldn't have happened.
Listen, thank you for coming to talk. I know it's not easy to talk, and I'm sure there's a big part of you that didn't want to, but we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.